Welcome to Lagos.
If there is one thing you need to understand about Lagos, it is this. Nobody is actually dating anybody. Everyone is just in a queue, waiting for who will locate them. And Tobi believed he had already reached the front. Tobi was a 24-year-old freelance graphics designer living in Surulere. He didn't have a stable job yet, but he had a massive amount of audacity and the billing packaging. He knew how to dress. He was naturally funny and he had that cocky charisma that made everyone in the room want to be around him. You couldn't even stay angry at Tobi for long because he would make a joke. And then there was Amaka. They met during his final year at Unilag, right outside the Faculty of Social Sciences. Amaka was a fresher then, very innocent, focused and unbothered by the fake lifestyle of Lagos. When Tobi handed her that drop notebook, he didn't just give her a book, he gave her the smooth textbook smile that had confused many girls before her. Amaka didn't understand the games of Lagos. She just knew how to love a man cleanly, without conditions. Fast forward to 2 years later, Amaka had become Tobi's unpaid life support. She would take 2 hot, stressful buses from Makoka to Surulere every Friday afternoon, carrying heavy bags of market groceries that she bargained hard for at the Oyingbo markets. She would clean his apartment, wash his clothes, and stock his fridge for the week. There were even months when Tobi's design gigs dried up completely, and Amaka would secretly slide half of her monthly allowance into his drawer so he could maintain his big boy look outside. She poured her youth, her energy, her finances into him. She was an investor, project manager, and partner all in one in Tobi's life. But Tobi was a shareholder in the market of options. Every time Amaka tried to ask the forbidden Lagos question, "Babe, it's been 2 years. What are we?" Tobi had the script ready. He would lock his phone, look into her eyes, rub her hand, and laugh gently. Now, Amaka, my star girl. You know I love you now. You are my person, the one who holds me down. But you see the way this country is. Economy is crashing. Dollar is chasing the sun. I'm just trying to get my feet on the ground so I can give you the life you deserve. Right now, I don't want to bring you into my financial stress. I'm not just ready for a commitment yet. Let's just keep it organic, protect our peace, and see where it goes, okay? And Amaka, out of pure love, would nod her head and believe him. But while Amaka was seeing where it goes, Tobi was actively searching for where to escape to. In his mind, Amaka was good for the trenches, but she was too local. She didn't wear 300,000 naira bone straight hair. She didn't drink luxury champagne at clubs, and she didn't have the Baddie aesthetic for his Instagram feed. He wanted a trophy girl, a high-class Lekki babe to show off to the world. He was literally using Amaka's food to gather the physical energy to chase other women online. Tobi would constantly drool over social media lifestyles. "See this guy, babe," he would say. "He just bought his girl a customized range. That is the life. If you don't scale up on these apps, you are just existing, you are not living." Amaka would stop folding the clothes, look at him gently, and sigh.
Tobi,
All these things are packaging. Half of these people are renting these cars or living in debt just for the camera. Social media is a waste of time. Why are you comparing your real life to someone's edited highlights? Let's just focus on your graphics work and build small. Tobi would ease, turn his back to her, and mutter under his breath. That is why you don't understand big vision, local mindset. He despised that contentment because it reminded him of his own lack of substance. My people, this is where the problem started. Tobi didn't just keep her in a situationship. He started using her for internet clouds without her knowledge. He started playing stupid, stressful pranks on her just to record her raw reactions for his close friends list and group chats. One evening, Amaka spent 4 hours cooking a special pot of afang soup with her last card. While she was in the bathroom, Tobi went into the kitchen, emptied a whole jar of salt into the pot, and then hid his phone inside an empty cereal box on top of the fridge, pressing record. When Amaka served the food and took a bite, her face twisted in confusion and distress. She almost cried. Tobi, I don't understand. I didn't put this much salt. What happened? Tobi tasted it and said, maybe your
Babe,
village
maybe
people
your
have
village
entered
people
your
have
cooking.
entered your cooking.
He was laughing, secretly checking the camera angle hidden on top of the fridge. He didn't care that he had ruined the hard work and her money. He just wanted the satisfaction of a funny video to show his boys. Amaka would notice his phone positioned weirdly sometimes, but whenever she asked, Tobi would quickly snatch it away and say, "Are you monitoring me now?" I thought we had trust. He manipulated her into feeling guilty for even noticing. Then, the universe decided it was time to serve Tobi's custom-made portion of karma. Her name was Cynthia. Tobi met her at an exclusive lounge in Victoria Island, where he had gone to flex with a friend, using the last 50,000 naira he made from a logo design. Cynthia was the definition of absolute luxury. She drove a clean Mercedes Benz. Her skin looked like it was washed in imported milk, and she lived in a gated estate in Lekki Phase 1. She was what Lagos boys call a Black Panther. She was beautiful and incredibly dangerous. To Tobi's shock and delight, Cynthia actually responded to his packaging. Cynthia didn't look like a dangerous person. In fact, she was the sweetest girl Tobi had ever encountered in Lagos. She was warm. She laughed genuinely at his jokes. He used his smooth tongue to lie about his background, claiming he was a digital brand consultant for international firms. Cynthia gave him her private number. He felt he had finally scaled up. To keep up with Cynthia, Tobi went into absolute madness. He emptied his savings, took loans from sketchy apps, and sold his extra design monitor just to buy clothes that matched her circle. And Amaka became yesterday's news. One Saturday morning, Amaka called him multiple times because she was genuinely worried. Tobi had been cold, distant, and hadn't picked up her calls for a week. Tobi looked at his screen and felt nothing but irritation. In his mind, Amaka's care was now a burden. She was holding him back from his destiny with Cynthia. With a cold, unblinking expression, Tobi tapped Amaka's profile. He clicked block contact on WhatsApp. Then he went to his phone settings and blocked her number from calling him completely. He didn't send an explanation. No, it's over. No thank you for the 2 years of free food and rent. Nothing. He just deleted her from his reality completely. Few months later, Cynthia sent a text. "Hey handsome, hosting a small private dinner with some of my close friends at the villa tonight. Come through." Tobi felt like a king who had finally been crowned. He sprayed the very last drops of his expensive perfume, wore his finest designer streetwear, and ordered an Uber he couldn't afford down to the Lekki address. When Tobi arrived, the compound was beautiful. Inside, the music was soft and the guests were polite, wealthy-looking people. Cynthia ran to him, gave him a warm mug, and handed him a glass of wine. "I'm so glad you are here, Tobi," she said with that perfect kind smile. Tobi drank, laughing, feeling like he was finally part of the 1%. "Drink up, babe," she whispered, her voice sending chills down his spine. Tobi drank. He wanted to look like a big boy who could handle his liquor, so he downed cup after cup. But by the fourth drink, a strange heavy darkness started pulling at his brain. His legs turned to water. This wasn't standard alcohol. He had been heavily drugged with a potent sedative. He tried to stand up to use the restroom, but his balance failed completely and he collapsed heavily onto a leather sofa, unable to lift his arms. Suddenly, the music stopped. The party crowd didn't panic. They just stood up smoothly and formed a circle around him. Cynthia didn't look like a lover anymore. She looked like a leader of a syndicate. She reached into Tobi's limp pocket and pulled out his iPhone. One of the large men grabbed his numb thumb, violently forcing it onto the sensor to unlock the phone. Tobi was slurring his words, tears of terror forming in the corner of his eyes.
Cynthia,
please.
What is happening?
What is happening, babe? Cynthia didn't even blink. She opened his banking apps. One of the large men slapped Tobi hard across the face to keep him conscious, forcing him to look directly into the lens of another phone that was recording. "State your banking pins and the answer to your security questions clearly," she whispered. Tobi was slurring his words, tears of pure terror pouring down his face. They stripped him down to his boxers, withdrew every single naira from his account, maxed out loans in his name. They liquidated everything he owned, changed all his email passwords, and logged him out of his own life. If you shout, go to the police or try to track this house. This video goes straight to Instablog and TikTok before sunrise. Cynthia said, her voice smooth, calm, and chilling. And we have your BVN, oh. We know where your family lives. Be a good boy, okay? At exactly 3 o'clock a.m., a car slowed down on the hard shoulder of the third mainland bridge. The door opened and Tobi was shoved out onto the cold concrete. The biting air of the lagoon hit him like a physical slap. He had no shoes, no shirt, no money, no phone. He began to walk. He walked for over an hour, weeping in the dark, watching the occasional night bus sped past him, the drivers looking at him like a madman. By 5 o'clock a.m., he limped into a petrol station on the mainland. The security guard took pity on his bleeding feet, handed him a dirty wrapper to cover himself, and lent him an old cracked button phone.
Young
man, the guard said, shaking his head. Call anybody
we know you.
Tobi sat on the dirty floor, his body trembling. Who could he call? He couldn't call his tech friends. They would turn his misfortune into a WhatsApp sticker and mock him forever. He couldn't call his mother and give her a heart attack. In that moment, when the packaging had failed, only one face came to his mind. Amaka, the girl who loved him when he had nothing. The girl he had treated like an option. With shaking, bleeding fingers, he dialed her number from his memory. He pressed the green button, ready to drop his pride, ready to cry into the speaker and beg for forgiveness.
The number you are trying to call is permanently switched off. Please check the number and try again.
Tobi froze and dialed the number again.
The number you are trying to call is permanently switched off. Please check the number and try again.
What Tobi's arrogant mind didn't know was that the very day he blocked Amaka, something inside that girl's gentle spirit finally died. She didn't track him down. She didn't cry for weeks or beg his friends for information. She just quietly stood up from his couch in her mind, picked up her remaining dignity, and realized her worth. She deleted her old social media accounts and threw away her past. And because the universe does not sleep on the tears of innocent people who love genuinely, 2 weeks after the silent heartbreak, Amaka's long-awaited relocation visa to Canada was approved. Not only that, she reconnected with a mature, stable Nigerian engineer who was already based abroad, a man who didn't see love as a game of chess or a situationship, a man who saw Amaka's golden heart and immediately made her his wife. By the time Tobi was standing on the concrete of that petrol station in his boxers, Amaka's old Nigerian sim was already resting at the bottom of a Lagos drainage system. She was sitting in a beautifully heated apartment halfway across the world, holding a warm cup of coffee, completely protected, completely valued, and completely gone. Tobi sat alone on the dirty floor, the cold morning breeze blowing dust against his bare skin. He had chased the illusion of high society and ended up naked in the trenches. He had treated a good woman like an option, and the universe had returned him to absolute zero. He had finally learned his lesson, but in Lagos, sometimes the lesson is delivered only when the classroom is completely empty. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, like this video, drop your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll see you in my next one. Stay safe out there, guys. Good night.